Hello, welcome to my look ahead video, and I thought I'd do it directly after the vote we've just had on the latest coronavirus regulations, which have gone through, which was no surprise because the government had a majority, although the Labour Party and all the opposition actually abstained on it. Now, I voted against. I've made a small speech which is on my Facebook page explaining why I couldn't vote for these regulations. I think they lack logic and consistency and transparency, and we absolutely must have regulations for the tiered lockdown that inspires confidence in people. And at a time when Worthing has today been confirmed as having the lowest infection rates in the whole country, 28 out of 100,000 per population, and Ada is not far behind on 45. That's lower than Cornwall and the Isle of Wight, which are in tier 1, and yet we are going to go into tier 2 with all this higher restrictions, and particularly the implications it has for the hospitality industry, which we know is already on its knees. So that's why I voted against, and I think it was the right thing to do, and the vast majority of people who've written to me have urged me to do that. Now, the rest of the week we've just done the telecommunications security bill, which is all about making sure Huawei doesn't take over our 5G network, and I'm very pleased that that went through without any opposition. We've got various further Brexit debates and legislation going through this week, as we do every week, one to do with animal welfare, and I hope we are hearing some encouraging signs that we might have an early announcement about banning of live animal exports once we're out of the transition period, which is something I've strongly supported, and there's a lot of support for, obviously, in Shoreham, given our history with Shoreham Port. There are debates later in the week on the future of coal in the UK and on the digital infrastructure. I think probably the second of those has got more future than the first of those. I've had a lot of meetings this week, particularly around COVID again, a really good meeting with the Sussex Community Trust with all the details about the vaccination programme, which will be rolled out shortly. They've done a lot of work on that, and there'll be details from the Sussex Community Trust later this week, and I really was impressed with how much they've got on top of it and how people are going out of their way to work the extra shifts to make sure everybody gets their jabs as soon as possible. Thank you also for the continuing surveys that are coming in. I'm going to be running it for a couple more weeks because we'll be sending out a hard copy this weekend after lockdown as well. I've had interesting meetings with the cycling minister, with some of the local residents and with councillors about how we take that forward in the new year, about looking at a permanent cycle lane, but one that is actually going to be acceptable to many more people and be safe and do the job we need it to do. Also this week I've got meetings with a number of constituents virtually on the Palestine lobby about the occupied Palestinian territories, which I've spoken in public meetings about before. I've got going to be joining the Finner Valley Residents Association later in the week for their AGM. I've got a meeting with the Royal College of Nursing around COVID, and I shall be out and about at the weekend, socially distanced, and then we'll see how we return to street surgeries in the future after that. So it's been a busy week, but a really important week with these important debates we've had here in Parliament, and please take the time to look at my speech for a full explanation of why I voted the way I did.